Hello there, my name's James. Welcome to my app, Facial Movement Recorder. As its name implies, it's been designed to record and analyse facial movement. That might be facial movement that you do want, but you're not getting, or it might be facial movement that you do not want, but you are getting. I've recently put in a couple of features called Poses and Sunnybrook, which are there to help you to do that, and I'd like to show you now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press the big red record button and then do a big smile. And now I'm going to press the big red stop button to stop it. What I'm going to do is go over to the menu button and then select that recording at the top of the screen. This is my new recording, and I can press the play button down at the bottom left to play it through. There you can see me smiling, and then it's me talking a little bit afterwards. The app has recorded 52 locations on my face and my eye movement. I can pinch to zoom in, I can tap and drag with one finger to move around, or I can tap and drag with two fingers to pan around. I can also tap and drag the slider timeline down the bottom to see exactly the bit I'm interested in. But now I want to assign a pose to this recording, so I tap on the pose button down the bottom of the screen and I select my smiling pose. If I didn't already have a smiling pose, I can just tap the create new pose button and I can create my pose in here. I'm going to tap the X to get rid of that and tap the X to get rid of that menu. Then I'm going to select the poses tab down at the bottom of the screen and then select my smiling pose.
And what you can see here is all the data from all of the recordings which have been assigned to the smiling pose.
And I've created a graph called synkinesis because that's exactly what I want to look for. Synkinesis is when you move a part of your body that you didn't mean to. I can tap on the videos graph on the right side of the screen, and these are 3 separate recordings. Now the one I just recorded included a lot of speaking afterwards, so I want to filter it out. So I'm going to tap on the filter button at the top of the screen, and then select the most recent recording, and that hides it from the graph. And then I'm going to tap on the X to get rid of that menu. Now you can see here 4 lines that I've set up in this graph. The yellow is eye blink left, the blue is eye blink right, the green is mouth smile left, and the purple is mouth smile right. Now as I said, this graph represents 2 different recordings. The recording on the left, you can see the green line and the purple line are very high, but the blue line and the yellow line are very low. This means that when I was smiling, my eyes were open. But on the right hand side of the graph, when the purple and green lines are high, meaning I was smiling, the blue line is also high, which means my right eye was closed. This indicates that I might be developing synkinesis. Let's go back to the smiling pose to see how I made this graph. I'm going to tap on the back button to go back to the graphs page. Let's say I want to include a graph of just the smiling locations to keep an eye on how symmetrical the smile is. I tap on create new graph, and I tap on filter locations up at the top, and I start to type in smile. I can then select both of these locations and tap create graph down at the bottom. This gives me a brand new graph showing just the smiling locations, so I can see how symmetrical the smile is. You'll also notice on the left hand side of the screen a photos graph. Facial Movement Recorder also records still images, and if you assign a pose to those, they'll show up in the poses just like videos. So I can scroll down and tap on the photos graph, and here you'll see all of the still recordings which have this pose assigned to them. Just like in the video graph, you can see that synkinesis is starting to develop. Let's tap on the camera button now to go back to the camera. Next, I'd like to show you the Sunnybrook feature. If you're a speech and language therapist, you're probably already familiar with the term Sunnybrook. It's built right into Facial Movement Recorder. I'm going to tap down here at the bottom of the screen to select Sunnybrook, and when I press the start button, I'm going to get a series of instructions on screen. I just need to follow those instructions. So I'm going to press the start button now, and the first pose that I need to do is just relaxing my face. Then I need to wrinkle my forehead. Then I need to close my eyes gently. Smile with my mouth open. Snarl. And pucker my lips. That's it. That's my Sunnybrook poses recorded. I can now tap on the menu button to review them. I'm going to go back over to my recordings tab and then tap on the Sunnybrook recording at the top of the screen. And this is the Sunnybrook recording. As you can see, it's just like any other recording, except that at the bottom of the screen, I've now got a new control to show me each pose in the Sunnybrook evaluation. I can tap on a different pose, and it will show me in the replay. I've also got a new Sunnybrook button, which I can tap to bring up the Sunnybrook questionnaire. And what I can do is go through these questions and answer them, and Facial Movement Recorder will automatically calculate the scores. So I'm just going to go through all of these as if the Sunnybrook evaluation is perfect. And there you go. I've got a Sunnybrook score of 100. I'm going to tap on the X now to dismiss that menu and go back to my Poses tab, where I've automatically got a Sunnybrook pose. I'm going to tap on that now to select it, and I've automatically got a graph of Sunnybrook scores. I'm going to tap on that to bring it up. And just like before, I'm actually going to filter out the most recent one just to make the data a bit easier to look at. So here you can see a line for each of the Sunnybrook scores, and as the resting symmetry and synkinesis scores go down, and the voluntary movement score goes up, the composite score goes up. I'm going to press the back button to go back to the graphs. And just like in any pose, you can create a new graph. For example, cheek squint, left and right. And that gives you a graph for each pose in the Sunnybrook evaluation. I hope that the new poses and Sunnybrook features in Facial Movement Recorder are useful to you. And it would be great if you could let me know by going to the About tab, and there's various different ways of contacting me. Thanks for using Facial Movement Recorder.